Hello campers. This is my third attempt at making this video. I'm losing the will to live. The fates are conspiring against me where this video is concerned. I had one crack a few days ago now. First of all, the sun interrupted me, and it was getting ridiculous. But then I wasn't really feeling the video. Sometimes it's just not really right in the mood to make a video, and it sort of shows. And then the beaming sun was sort of just just made the whole thing really ridiculous. And then I had another crack. I think it was the next day, but then it was after I'd watched Liverpool lose to Hull, and I was really wasn't in the mood. I had it in my head early in the day that I was going to make a video and expecting Liverpool to win, and it'd be really really lively. But I was just a miserable. I won't say that. I'm going to curb my language. So I'm having another go now, and the sun's out again. So I've had to keep my curtains closed because, but there's a good side to that. Is actually the light's okay, but there's a good side to that is because I noticed some chavs walking up and down selling door to door. So if I've got the curtains closed, I won't know I'm in, because I saw him knock on my neighbour's window and he's going, so I'm not up for that. So yeah, back when I first decided I was going to make this video a few days ago, I mean the main reason for doing it was to tell people that I'm going to be putting stuff on eBay, and it was to do with my sales video. And if anybody had asked me to put stuff by, I was just going to give them a heads up that it'd been a while, and I thought it probably about time I should stick on eBay. But that's irrelevant now because I'm not going to list any of that anyway. I've got some other stuff to put on, so that's okay. But anyway, the idea is that I need, I'm a bit low on funds, so to speak, and if I don't sell stuff, no one's getting any Christmas presents. So it's pretty essential. I probably live a bit late, so it don't look like anyone's going to get any anyway. But another downside to that is that I've heard people are going to meeting up and going to Play Nation Games on Saturday. Today's Wednesday, so it's just really bad timing. If only it's after Christmas, because it's not quite as awkward as I thought it was, because I've been down as far south as Kingston in the past, and that took me about 3 or 4 hours just to get to Kingston, and I think they're roughly the same distance from where I live. And I hate travelling. I was just hanging around like that. But I've actually worked it out. It's still a long way, but yeah, it's a bit more. It's sort of like you have to sort of like do a dog leg. So, but I've heard they're all meeting up, and I've just not got any money to go and spend. I really want to go there with a good wad of cash to spend. Not like in a controlled manner, not willy nilly. Not going to pay ridiculous. It does look really good though. If anyone's not checked out their videos, it does look like it's refreshing actually, because it's refreshing to see something like that opening up rather than everything. Because they just close down all the time, don't they? But anyway, so hence, I haven't got the money to spend because I need to buy Christmas presents. This is shit. And also, I bought a telly. Don't know. This isn't it. Oh, fucking hell. That's not it. That's the sound bar, because apparently you need sound bars nowadays. Didn't in my day, but apparently they do these days. But So hence, I sort of do need a telly. It's anyway. So it's really bloody bad timing. I know there are people coming down from quite far out of town as well. Like Dave. So Dave's coming there. Dave, I'm a Game Geek. So I'm really pissed off. But on the upside, you know, it's easier to get to than I thought it was. I thought it was sort of along the same way as like the one in Streatham, you know. What's it called? I forgot what it's called. Retro Game Base. Anyway, 5 minutes already. Right. Stuff. As I've been doing recently, I'll start off with a couple of DVDs, or 3 DVDs. 2 corkers, 2 absolute corkers, or 3 corkers actually. The first one, both from charity shops. 7 Samurai. And The Man Who Would Be King. This both brilliant. That's sort of like a homage to the Western, and then well, according to back anyway, homage to the Western, like the American Western, or Kurosawa's homage to the American Western. But then he repaid, John Sturgis repaid the compliment with Magnificent Seven. Which is nice. It's a nice little backstory. And this is brilliant. This, in my last video, the favourites one, and its favourite film, this was on the short list because it's brilliant. It's a sort of an adaptation of a Kipling story about it's about sort of British imperialism, sort of over, you know, and ambition. It's really good. It's I'm not a massive fan of Michael Caine, but it's one of the few films I find him not acceptable in. Generally plays himself, but it's a really nice. It's nice sort of dynamic between Sean Connery and Michael Caine. And he's got a character in it called Billy Fish. Nothing to do with Viz, but you know, he's a Gurkha. He's called Billy Fish. I don't know why he's called Billy Fish, but he is. And this one was from the car boot sale at the weekend. I didn't really go down properly. I was sort of going past that way, sort of early enough that it was still on. It was about 9 o'clock. I went down there. I did one circuit, and there wasn't really anything. There were games, but not really anything that worth having. But for £1, I got Generation Kill. This is really good. It's a mini-series by the guys who made The Wire, or David Simon and Ed Burns, I think it is. And it's about the first few days of the second Iraq conflict stroke invasion, and it's they have a Rolling Stone journalist embedded with them, and it's not sort of it's more about the realism and the boredom of the whole situation and the sort of the bureaucracy and stuff of that, and it's really good, and it's only 7 episodes though. It's a mini series. That cost me £1. Apparently, it used to belong to Deb and Steve. Yeah, and that's actually a bargain actually, because it's generally quite expensive, or you know, over £10. But anyway, the next 3 are all sort of cheeky duplicates. That the first one in particular, I wasn't sure if it was a duplicate, but then I half knew it was. I was just thinking to myself. I went out on a mooch on Saturday, and I was thinking to myself, I've not seen a batch of PS1 games in a long time. You know, quite often you'd go into a charity shop and you'd see from a distance a shelf or a pile of PS1 games, and you'd see them from a mile off, and you know exactly what it was, and you can get really excited because there could be anything there. And generally, you get close and you realise it's a pile of shit. But every so often, you realise that it's something slightly different, slightly out of the ordinary, and I've just been thinking that to myself, and on Saturday I actually noticed, I went into 2 charity shops, and they both had decent batches of PS1 games, and I sort of felt obliged to buy something, even though they weren't really. They had Star Wars Masters of the Terraskazi, and I've stopped buying novelty games now, novelty games now, because it is supposed to be shit. I've stopped buying them, you know. I don't buy them anymore. I mean, you know, it's not sort of readily available, but it's rubbish. But this is the best one. This was £2. It's Medieval 2, and it's the manual's a bit crispy, and the disc's probably about 5, so it's not brilliant. But I thought I had it in the back of my head. Maybe if anyone, I don't have Medieval. If anyone's got Medieval, then maybe a lot of slop. I don't know. And these were sort of pretty much no-brainers. For $1.99 each in a charity shop again. A way back, I'd sort of made my mind up not to buy duplicates. I was just going to stop doing it because they sort of accumulating, and I wasn't really doing much with them. And I was just I wouldn't necessarily buy them with the intention to trade in or selling. It was more because they were sort of almost like rescuing them, giving them a home. So it was a bit weird. but so they were accumulating, and I think the first time I saw something decent, I saw a copy of Final Fantasy VII. Whereas before that, I just would have snapped it up like a shot. But I thought to myself, no, I'm going to leave it. Then as soon as I did leave it, I regretted it, and I thought maybe I'll go back and get it, but it wasn't there. And then since then, I've just decided to bin that idea of not picking them up. You know, obviously at a certain level, you know, they have to be of a decent standard. So I've got these now. So now I've got to decide what to do with them. You know, I think I know where they're going to go. There was actually Final Fantasy VII as well, but it was missing 2 discs. It was missing disc 1 and because it was a platinum, it had a Final Fantasy VIII demo. So that one, I left that one. Somebody still bought it though, because it wasn't there next time. Yeah, $1.99 each. Right, onto the stuff that's for me. Oh, it's all for me. Excuse me. Bit of nostalgia, this one. In a little bag. I like my pen in a little bag. Super RC Pro-Am on the Game Boy. Bit of nostalgia. It's £1.25 by the way. Bit of nostalgia. I used to have this when I had my Game Boy originally, and I played it a lot, and I got quite good at it. Naturally, because I played it a lot, you know, you get, if you play something that much, you're always going to get to a certain standard. You know, you're never going to stay shit. In other words, even though I was a kid, and I loved it. But then it got to a point where I was playing the sort of like the main game. Got to a point where the AI just felt impossible. I mean, I was good at it, but then you had to win each race to progress, but then I'd always get beaten by one car, and that one car would always be seemingly be driving the perfect racing line. And I don't think you could upgrade your cars. You could just have like weapons and stuff, and like little like turbo boosts, and it was never quite enough. And this one car was always driving the perfect racing line, and it got really difficult to the point it felt impossible. But no, it's not impossible because I think there's a Cubex playthrough of it. Whereas, unless they've used, I doubt it, but it's just someone who's really good. But unless they've used, you know, like assistants, so to speak. But Super RC Pro-Am for $1.25, and maybe this time when I get around to playing it, I'll complete the bastard. You know, I think I was a long way through, and it just felt impossible. This one is Eco-Chrome. This was only 99p. I mean, obviously these are sort of cheap as anything, but even before I had my PSP, this is something that I thought was really interested in. It's sort of like a logic, physics sort of puzzler, but really, really nicely designed. I don't think you're going to see this. It's almost like sort of visual illusions in your little dude, and you have to guide him around these maps, and you have to rotate the maps so that you sort of it's all to do with what you can see. I think if you know, I'm not explaining it very well, but it feels like the sort of game that if it was on a PS1, it's like a sort of almost like halfway between something like Vib Ribbon and Cooler World. If it was on the PS1, those two games that go for decent money, it'd go for a lot of money, but it's not. It's just cheap as chips. I don't think I've ever said cheap as chips in more videos. But yeah, that was 99p. So I think there's Echo Shift, which is the sequel, sort of a variation on the theme. Right, a game inspired a purchase. Bollocks. inspired by Pete. Pete's Snestastic. Matrix Path of Neo. I played a demo of the first game and it was shit, wasn't it? It is. I mean, be honest, it's crap. And it wasn't the Matrix game that you would have wanted it to be, because Matrix is made for video, you know, being sort of adapted, isn't it? And this was what the first game should have been. And I remember watching Pete's gameplay video a long time ago, probably years. Well, it's definitely years, probably at least 2 years, like years ago. And I wasn't really aware of it at the time, and it's been on my list since then, thanks to Pete's video. And finally, I saw a decent copy for 99p. See, all this stuff is I've not, you know, I've got money for, you know, I haven't got a lot of money. I can only spend in sort of little batches or with you know, sort of like CEX credit, stuff like that. But again, a game I used to have on the Xbox, but traded it because it sort of came after I played Halo, and I don't think I really gave it a chance because it didn't quite compare to Halo. It was a different sort of game, but it was an FPS. It's Dark Watch. It was £1. It felt difficult. I like the sort of the way you can pick and choose missions, but it felt difficult. I always felt like things took a long time to kill, and I was running out of ammo a lot. You know. But then again, Pete did a gameplay video, and I thought, that looks better than I remember. And it has been on my list ever since. I don't like to. I had to trade it because at the time, you know, at the time when I first had my Xbox, it was all about sort of trading stuff to get something I did want. So I had to trade it, and it was I needed something to trade, and this was the first one that fell by the wayside. So I just felt a little bit guilty about not giving it a proper chance. But I think my game save's still probably on my Xbox, so I can jump straight back in. But, yeah. There you go. Dark Watch. 360 games. 17 minutes. Oh, doing all right. Not too slow. This one's a bit of a no-brainer for me. It's this one came with Super RC Pro-Am and something else. I bought at the same time. Dark Watch, I think. Yeah, Super RC Pro-Am Dark Watch came at the same time as this. This was only about £4. So it was pretty much of a no-brainer for me because it's Halo, and obviously Halo. I know people sort of bitch about it and stuff, but I loved the first game. Even though, you know, I mean, I think you can tell the age of a console by the sort of FPSs it has. I think things are levelling out now with this sort of like the current gen and then this new generation. The differences aren't so stark. I mean, they might be later on, but at the moment they're not quite so stark. But I think you can tell the age of a console by its FPSs. You know, it's almost like sort of a fingerprint or like sort of rings on a tree. And sort of the original Halo's aged slightly, not to the point of unplayability, you know, but you still get the nostalgia for it. It just feels the guns aren't feel quite as meaty as they do on sort of current gen FPSs. So this hopefully is sort of like an update, you know, that will match my nostalgia. I'm talking bollocks, but this next one was $2.99 in the charity shop, and it was sealed, and it's Serious Sam HD. I had the two original Xbox games on my list, and I saw this because I think this is just an HD version of those, and I thought I might as well get this because it's brand new. Obviously, it was $2.99. There you go, $2.99, and cross them off my list because I don't need both because they're all about playing. I don't know how good this is supposed to be. I know the original's got a good reputation, and it's more in the vein of the sort of the anarchic sort of Doom Dark Watch style FPS, isn't it? You know, just shoot like Duke Nukem, not just shooting shit generally. But yeah, that four more. Sorry, these last two I got yesterday. I bought I bought a copy of Super Mario Sunshine on the GameCube for £2, and I bought a copy of Tales from Earthsea, the Ghibli animation, and traded them straight in a CEX, and got 11 quid. Because I've already got Mario Sunshine, and I knew that he was going to get decent credit, and I knew that Tales from Earthsea gets decent credit. Actually, as a tip, if you're ever out and about in charity shops or whatever, I think particularly Ghibli films, Studio Ghibli films, but maybe anime as well, but I think it's particularly Studio Ghibli films will get you good credit at CX. So if you ever see them for £1, they're worth nabbing primarily to trade in. And that's what I did, and with Tales from Earthsea, and got £11 credit. So I was able to get Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning, and Dead Island, the Game of the Year edition, for £6 and £8 respectively. Or no, not respectively, still around. And just had to top them up with a little bit of cash. So, when Sean and Stu, Ninja Bear Rug, did a co-op gameplay of this, it looked really entertaining. And this is supposed to be really good, generally. It's an RPG, and even though it is EA, and when I went to get it, I saw it didn't come with manual. Excuse me, they haven't got manual, and I sort of panicked a bit because I was a bit disappointed. Then he had to explain to me, and no, it's EA, and EA games don't come with manuals. So, last two, 20 minutes. Last two in game, and quite a nice little find. This Sky DS for £4. I've noticed sort of the slightly scarcer DS games you don't see every day, will often be discounted. It's strange. I mean, I've got my copy of Mega Man ZX. That was about £3, and I think I've got a copy of Fire Emblem on the Shadow Dragon that was similarly priced. So three relatively scarce DS games are all sort of bizarrely discounted in game, which I don't really understand. But I think this is this is just the port of the PS2 game. So interesting I can't see it making much difference, the control scheme, but it's nice to have anyway. You know, it's nice to be able to play it out and about rather than sitting at home on the PS2 on telly. And this one, nice little anomaly. This is a bit weird. This is the final thing I've got. This might be familiar. £3. Yeah, £3 for Pokemon Black. Does this look familiar? I think it's my last pickups video. I bought a US copy of Pokemon Black in a charity shop. But it had all its bits rather than the cart, and it came with one of the mystery dungeon games, so it's disappointing. So I was in a charity shop a few weeks ago, and I saw this. Oh, great, yeah, jumped on it. This is uncanny. Pokemon Pearl. What's the moral of the story? Or what can you tell from this? Kids, don't put stuff back where it should go. You know, I'm not saying the kids are the only people that play Pokemon games, but you know, just unless it's generally disorganised people play Pokemon games, and don't put carts back in the right cases. But this one was £3, but I thought about leaving it, but then I'm much more likely to play Pokemon Pearl than a Mystery Dungeon. So maybe down the line I'll be able to source a cheap cart. But I think I said before that Pokemon Black carts aren't too much cheaper than the full game. So it's just uncanny that, though, isn't it? Just see the exact same thing twice, and again without the right game. So I wanted to do this. One of the main reasons I wanted to do this is because there's Liverpool playing again tonight, and I thought if I left it and they lost again, I'm never going to get this video made. But anyway, one itch. Hopefully this one will get uploaded, because the first two, even though I kept them, I had a quick look at them. They weren't cutting the mustard. But I fancy doing some gameplay videos. Not done one in a long time. I doubt I'll be buying many more Actually, I won't, because I've got enough money for now for my mum's Christmas present, and then it's up to whatever I can sell on eBay. So if I can't sell anything on eBay, I'm fooked. So probably there will be videos from between now. Actually, I've got a response to Pro B Man 5, his last factoid video, which was quite entertaining, and there's some gameplay videos. You know, not done one in a long time. So yeah, apologies to all the lads who are going down to Croydon on Saturday. Oh, it's gutting, actually. Can't you postpone it and come down after Christmas? Or again, just come again. I don't want to go down on my own, just trawling. It's going to be not much nicer when there's people around. Because I've not actually met anyone from YouTube yet. I've been doing this for it'll be like 4 years in February. I've not actually met anyone from YouTube yet. What miserable cunts. Sorry, I did say I was going to curb my language, but I forgot. So, 26 minutes. Thanks for watching. There was stuff, other things I wanted to say. Stories and things. But they're not coming. So, I'll let you go. Thanks for watching, people, and I'll see you soon. Yeah, cheers, mate. Mate. Cheers, lads and lasses, people. Bye.